of people that hold themselves as elite. Join forces to figure out a way to offer someone up, someone you don't even know, to intentionally try to break my spirit, intentionally try to put me in a trauma bond. But I'm already in my destiny. That causes a problem for the plan that's been put in place. So you elicit the help of realtors, insurance agents, judges, cops, laundromat owners, nurses, superintendents. They make the choice to abuse their position, to listen to lies, not do their job, spread wild rumors, rumors that have no basis in any fact whatsoever. But because you're so insecure and you lack complete self-awareness, you let your mouth run wild, casting judgment onto somebody you don't even know. It might be somebody that you think that you know or that you've observed, but you don't actually know me. That would be like saying you know somebody that picks up coffee at the same coffee shop every day as you. I feel like you've dug into my life. You've already stalked me for quite a while, but you don't actually know me. And even the all-powerful warlock, sorcerer, jester, who thinks he's putting magic on me. Even in the short time that we spent together, when we never actually even slept together, is himself all-knowing and all-powerful enough to try to put some roots or magic on me. But per usual, as do most men, get a very giant inflated ego. And it really doesn't have that much to do with me. It has to do with my energy. But here's what's interesting that I have learned through this process of healing. There are so many men who are in feminine energy, which means they have some narcissistic traits. They have giant egos. And they're so used to women feeding their egos. At one time, I even did. But I never let go of my self-respect, my self-love. And anytime that I stumbled, when God told me to move, I moved. I always returned to center, much to my mother's dismay, I'm sure. Actually pre-planned through her Eastern Star Red Hat Society sex cult network. Jester Shriners. I dig on any of these people. I can speak about these things because the behavior of the people has not demonstrated the doctrines of these organizations, at least in my life. So it's not speculation. I'm speaking facts right now. Because they actually have no idea what love is, because they have adopted pain as their actual identity, do not have any respect for themselves. They do not have any respect for women. They get very comfortable projecting that onto any woman who is loving and kind, empathic, generous, a good mother, flexible, patient, wise. And see, what God had to take me through in healing my codependency was how that was being used against me and how dangerous it is for me to be those characteristics without honoring my own needs, without giving those things to myself first. And that is how I learned to create boundaries through honoring my needs. Boundaries in an offensive position. All of this was a process. A large part of it, while I was experiencing the highest level of man-made warfare. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but I know it now. And while this group of individuals sat back and watched, sometimes seeing me upset, sometimes seeing me struggling, literally getting off on the pain of another human being, showing no support, no empathy, no compassion. Quite the opposite, actually. They viewed my life as a competition for them, when I was never in competition with them. From the first completely pointless court case through the Cuyahoga County Juvenile Court, where I was given residential parenting, and Nick was ordered to go to the therapy that I never went to. Yeah, Judge Thomas O'Malley never actually, I think, bothered to even ask Nick, hey, did you follow through the first court order? How did that therapy go that I ordered? Nah, that wasn't an important question to ask before giving somebody full custody and trying to terminate my parental rights. Just watching me at every turn, from selling my house, trying to make that as difficult as possible, the corruption associated with that, filing a ridiculous lawsuit, learning that Nick had intentionally had my HVAC installed, hoping it would probably take me out, the house that his son lived in too. If he were concerned about that, him or Chris Gamansky, who installed the HVAC, had the release valve actually draining right into my house. If either of them were concerned about that, when I reached out and text and say, hey, could you come take a look at this? Asked Nick, hey, can you reach out to Chris and see if he can come take a look at this? Was basically told to F off. But I took that one on the chin, just kept it pushing. But every time I got beyond an obstacle, they had to come with a bigger one. They had to come with a bigger one. And boy, did they. The amount of scheming and sliminess to this group of people, I literally can't believe that you walk around feeling like you're a good person, ever. Ever. Because you're that slimy. But because I was focused on God, healing, building my business alone. Amplified, the platform that y'all have been living off of and exploiting. Claiming that we were in a relationship, that you were my manager, that you had any legal right to use my name, my brand, my voice. Even reposting my content so other people could steal it. Then blocking me, banning me, putting illegal community strikes. And here's the most sickest part, the entire time not even able to block any of these people. Because they were just watching through my device. All my devices. Spent probably close to $4,000 on devices. Whole time. My mother, Nick, all of them knowing what they were doing. Literally getting off on it. My business started to take off. My platform started to blow up. I only know this because I went outside of my network to check my analytics and see, even though they were shadow banning me in an attempt to make me feel insecure, make me feel broken and isolated, because only the numbers that I could see were anywhere from 0 mostly to up to 200. It depend on, I don't know, whatever their system is with all their bot accounts. In the seriously most corrupt, most abusive, most evil strategy of harming another person. Actually was reaching people. And God put it on my spirit to continue to minister to these people that were blocking me. Once I realized that they were hacking my Wi-Fi, and that in fact, it wasn't a coincidence that I was seeing Texas license plates everywhere. I was seeing Texas bumper stickers and t-shirts and women that are psychotic, truly psychotic performers, because that's all you are, is a performer. Not for much longer though. References to kingpin this and kingpin that. King Ranch, F450s, F350s, yeah, it's pretty easy to make that connection, especially when I had already discovered my affiliation to the Chester Shriner, who had passed away in 2019. But I remained patient until these rodents started hacking my bank account. That's when I started making police reports. 4 for the Federal Bureau of Investigations in Cleveland, Ohio. 3 times to Medina County. 3 times to Brunswick PD. Reports made every single time. Not one of these people to this day has ever come spoke to me. Not one. When I said, I'm afraid I'm being human moved, I don't know what they're trying to do to me, getting threatening phone calls, threatening text messages, threatening DMs, trying to solicit me, call me a whore, a slut, a 304, a prostitute. Just continue to focus moving forward. Trying to do my best to just troubleshoot the entire situation. I don't give low-life bullies my energy. I don't do that. You are weak, insecure, and a pick-me to ever bully anyone ever, but especially past like the 3rd grade. That invest this much time into terrorizing another human being. And let's get this straight. This isn't bullying, this isn't gang stalking. What y'all have been invested in is domestic terrorism, and I'm going to prove that. You're still invested in it right now with a whole lot of other charges. While you had me locked in this digital cage, unbeknownst to me, I was completely locked in a digital cage, right? Because that way, they could continue to sell my content, sell my brand, use my name, and all of the cockroaches that were inside of that little container where my data was being funneled to, they could steal my ideas, they could write books, they could observe. Not a one of you animals ever thinking to yourself, maybe this is abusive? While I'm being driven into poverty intentionally, being abused and attacked, trying to explain to at least the people that were in my life what was happening, but how do you really explain that? And what is anybody going to do? I've already gone to the police. I've already gone to the FBI. I've already gotten new devices, new routers. There's only so much you can do. And I wanted to remain in the energy of gratitude. Anything that happens to me is to serve God. So anytime there's any kind of anything happening, I put all of my understanding into God, and I know it's for God. But unbeknownst to me, several disgusting people, some of which close to me, including Nick Edelberg and Shelby Edelberg, and a few other disgusting creatures. How many of them are related to Derek Stalin? If that's even his real name, I'm not sure. I have no idea. I haven't had an actual conversation with this person in 2 years. He ghosted me. He said he had options. And he was cohabitating. Showed zero empathy for the fact that I trusted him to not lie to me, that I've gone through a lot in my life, and I just went through a healing period. And I just started my business. I just went through all of that by myself. And here you are on Christmas Eve, intentionally trying to cause me pain. And you knew it would. Having the audacity to gaslight me that anything that I ever said to you was abusive. What you did and what you're still doing is abusive. If Derek's even still at this realm or not in prison already, who knows? I have no idea, because again, I haven't talked to him in 2 years. And unlike you psychopaths who feel so entitled to literally invade every corner of someone's life that you don't even know, you have no connection to. I never came into an interview with you. I never showed any interest in a business agreement with you. I never showed any interest in having you invest in me or me in you. So what in the hell would make any of you people feel like you have the right to violate someone's human and civil rights? Because you're part of a little elite group? I don't give a rat's ass. I'm a child of God. And considering that the whole intention of your little group here is family values, manners, morals, and principles, you would think that not being a lying, scamming, cheating, deceitful thief and fraud, while also stealing from a minister, while also wildly disrespecting and violating my human and civil rights continuously. You would think, given the hill that you stand on, the high horse that you have propped yourself up on, you would be a little bit more careful about who you direct that energy out at. Seeing as how none of you know me. We have no connection. I have no connection to any of you. Any part of my family that is a part of this is estranged from me because they made that choice. They made that choice. When you humble yourself and you ask for help, you are letting people know when you can what you're going through. And they make the choice to stand in judgment of you because they want to be able to play out this strategy to get a cut of money because they feel like they're going to be successful in offing you. They're thinking you're not even going to be around in a little bit. So what does it matter if they show you compassion and empathy? I have never allowed trauma to program me like it has programmed all of you. I don't allow pain to be something that I sit in. I heal. And I heal through Jesus Christ. And I always have. You wouldn't know, any of you, because clearly you don't follow Jesus Christ. That's very obvious. If you claim that you do, and you are a part of this, or you're observing it right now without doing anything about it, then you're also not a follower of Jesus Christ. Because no child of God would be a witness to a single mom being abused and allow that to go on. Damn sure wouldn't participate in it. So if there was any confusion, the fact that I was never around any of you should have been a major red flag. Especially Derek, or whomever the rodent is that he has standing in for me right now. Probably looks a lot like me. Your behavior is why I'm estranged from you. Because look what you're doing. You could destroy someone's life. You could blackball them, blacklist them, intercept their mail, intercept their data, make, I don't even know how many accounts, hundreds of accounts, I would guess, isolate them, intentionally try to make them feel like they're nobody, right? Because that was your whole point in the shadow banning. That's why you're still trying to shadow ban me, which is absolutely stupid, okay? It's stupid. All while you're exploiting and making money off of my brand, my name, my voice, my image, my platforms, my business, my content. While you and your sick group sit back and are actually living off of the person's money that you're trying to destroy. made it through trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma and actually did the work to heal alone. Everything that you are afraid to do, any person that would project intentionally, because that's what fake witches do, okay? That's their magic, okay? They project out their fear. They try to put their fear on you. This is a lot like a child predator. In every instance of predatory behavior, whether it's physical, mental, psychological, emotional, every narcissist, they don't want to look at their pain. In their delusional, psychotic brains, they believe that they can put pain onto or into another person and extract the innocence and own it for themselves. That's not real. Period. It's not. When you're taking actions to use realtors, insurance companies, wealth investors, offshore accounts, and you're hacking and you're stalking and you're gang stalking, trying to create fear for someone, trying to make them insecure, shadow banning them while exploiting their content and living off of it, like actually giving money to whores while you're stealing from a minister. And as if that wasn't bad enough, all of the warfare that all of you are a part of, I mean, going as far as stealing my laundry, stealing my mail, using your connections to delay my unemployment checks even. All of the effort that you went into, not a one of you offering any assistance or help, even when I asked for it. As far as working with disgusting Nick Edelberg and disgusting Shelby Edelberg, because you're disgusting for what you're doing right now, to think that you could take me back to family court through a fake court hearing, all of it fake. You have no evidence or facts. Clearly I have shelter. Clearly I have a successful business, right? Because you disgusting freaks know all about it. See, you thought that you could play a long game. You thought that some man who partook in abusing me, trying to belittle me, ghost me, turn his back on me, somebody I was very kind to, you thought that all of you could eat off my plate, steal an inheritance, steal property in a trust fund that was left solely to me. There's no debate here. Just because you put a lot of work into being a fraud and a thief, just because some dirty whore thought she was going to get to wear my skin, worked real hard to steal my identity. And all of you sat around and you're still sitting around having meetings and discussions about somebody who is not connected to you, didn't build with you, who did it all on her own. You have no legal right to anything that belongs to me. You made the choice to commit fraud, to stand in front of a judge and act like you know me or that you know anything about me, to pretend that we were in communication, to make deep fakes and fake receipts, to sign my signature, to go on a giant smear campaign ahead of time, and then all around me, and then send in a bunch of followers. Only people who would actually believe that there's any celebrating to be had here, to believe that Derek could come in like a knight in shining armor. Are you fucking kidding me? There's nothing to celebrate here. You're traumatizing my little boy. Put on a whole little fake court case. Every single one of you are going to lose your jobs. Any person who took part in any part of this, I promise you. because of what you're doing to my son right now. To think that I would be dumb enough, that I would be in some kind of romantic, poor me, save me, a man who didn't protect me, didn't provide a damn thing for me, has shown zero empathy. Zero. Zero. You are so desperate and thirsty that you decided to project who you are onto me. And I'm even more sorry that I didn't accept it, just like I've never accepted it. Ever in my life. To ever think that I would ever lower myself to be the type of person that would be in some kind of celebratory energy, some kind of romantic energy, some kind of I give a fuck about you energy while you're actively abusing my child. I would just be so overwhelmed and excited. I would just be so in love. Here, you came to save me. And then, the whole marriage and power of attorney and all the fraud would never get found out because I would just run away. No. The only people who think like that are people who put money before children. Anybody who would put materialistic bullshit, they would go as far as traumatizing my child, William. Nick and Shelby Edelberg, Mary Grace disgusting, Rollins Brochet, every one of the Pellegrinos and anybody else that knows what's happening to my child right now. I pray the wrath of God onto your heads, your lives, your bodies, your children, your homes, your jobs, your careers. Every single day, may it be done. In the authority given to me, may it be done until my son is returned to me. You are delusional to think there is anything to celebrate here. There's nothing to celebrate. The fact that you're letting this go on. The lesson here was to put God, children, love first. If any of you think that you are entitled to a divine inheritance while you're abusing a child, after you abused me for months and months and months and you're too fucking cowardly to even admit what you did, and you think I'm going to be excited? There's nothing to be excited about here. Nothing. You think I'm going to celebrate anything? No. There's no win here. The fact that you psychopaths are still in some kind of competition with yourselves. You made me an enemy. I was never in opposition with any of you idiots. Serving out my mission for God, just like I still am. You made the choices you made. They're your choices. The consequences are yours. It's the consequences that you're avoiding right now that is preventing you from learning the lesson. Everything that I had to go through as well. It's so freaking hilarious that what you're afraid to do right now is what I had to do alone. The confrontation, the accountability, the self-awareness. People that are still withholding my money, still stalking me and hacking me and blocking me and watching me and feel entitled to know anything about me, actually, at all. It's truly psychotic. Like, in what world do any of you operate? It's not normal. People like me and people like you is that you make pain your identity. You give yourself excuses to stay right where you're at. Has nothing to do with anybody else. Damn sure don't have anything to do with me. Your fear right now is yours. Has nothing to do with me. Know what you're waiting on, a permission slip? You have to take accountability for the consequences of your actions, for which none of you know because you actually have never sat down with me to hear about what your actions caused me. You avoid it so you can avoid taking accountability. That's what a true leader is. You want to be a divine masculine? You want to actually be an emperor? You want to be somebody who is actually worthy of a divine inheritance? Then do the work. Face your fears. Your pain is not your personality. You're choosing to make it your personality. You're choosing to allow demons in your energy. You're choosing to pretend like if you don't talk about your feelings, if you suppress your feelings, that nobody will know about your feelings. But actually, no. It makes your feelings very obvious. It makes your pain very obvious. It's talking about it, it's crying about it, yelling, whatever you gotta do, that actually helps you heal. The difference is that you disgusting monsters do that to other people that don't deserve it. You can be angry, you can be sad, you can be mad, you can be glad. Shit. Those are all feelings too. You seem to forget about that, right? It's funny how joy, peace, love, compassion, integrity, the things that connect you to your humanity, the things that are only found in your heart. You can't be courageous with a closed heart. The gold-digging whore who thought she could hold on to my identity, my property, my platforms, literally screwing over thousands and thousands of people because you're not actually me. You can't take someone's spiritual gifts, you morons. That's a lie. That's a lie. Your destiny is co-created. It's who I am. It's my authenticity. It's what triggers you. If you can't handle it, stop watching. But you don't get to block me and oppress me. Like, get a grip so that you could keep or get a cut of money that isn't yours, that none of you are getting any part of. You are not getting any part of it. And on top of that, all of you are going to be hit with lawsuits that blow your mind, and it's earned. And every single day, that number is adding up for both me and William, because there's going to be separate lawsuits. And I will win. I will win. I promise you I will win. The only people who would think like that are people who don't care about their families. Just like all of you are demonstrating right now that you don't care about William. You're making the choice. You're making the choice, and the only people who would make the choice that you're making right now are people that don't care about children. To even think that this plan would play out in any way that you wanted to play out, like Derek could come back in, I would be none the wiser, and I would run away with him, and then Nick and Shelby could keep my kid, and they would get a cut of the money for participating. Nick and Shelby Edelberg abuse a child, and every one of you are participating in that, trying to extort money and using a child as collateral. Do not be surprised when your time runs out for what you're doing right now. I am allowed to be angry because I am a loving mother, and what you're doing to my child right now is abuse. If Derek loved me, he would not be letting that go on right now. If Nick actually loved his child, if any of you people claim to love William, you would not be letting this go on right now because all of you know the mother I am. Shame on you for suggesting otherwise. Shame on Judge Thomas O'Malley. You shouldn't be sitting on a bench. None of you have had to go through the things that I went through as a mother. None of you. And every day I have to wake up without my son knowing my baby is in pain because of Nick and Shelby disgusting Edelberg. You should be in prison. You'll sit there and feel sorry for yourselves. You'll sit there and make assumptions. You don't get to have any thought that includes me. None of you know me. None of you know me. You don't know anything about me, clearly, because you put this plot together. That was stupid. But the fact that you're letting it go on is only an example of truly how you don't learn lessons, how you're not sorry, you're not remorseful, and still to this day, all you care about is money. When the entire lesson was about not putting money before family, before your partner, before children. Don't any of you think about coming anywhere near me unless my child is returned to me. Every dime you stole, and you're not keeping any of it. You're not keeping any of it. None of it. I'm not growing softer or more compassionate. Like I said, once you get served, once Nick and Shelby get served, don't think about ever talking to me or my children again. You're not even sorry. You're literally telling God that you don't care. And you're still not going to keep anything that belongs to me. And I'm still going to get restraining orders. And still, all of the people who participate in this will have to answer for why they did this. There's nothing left to discuss. Stop making plans about somebody you don't even know. Mind altering to me that you feel like you have some right to be withholding my money. But it's just as mind altering the fact that an actual judge, a fake attorney, like that you guys would hold a whole fake court case to take a child on like no legal grounds whatsoever. Like just commit complete fraud and think that there would not be a consequence because you thought I was going to be taken out. Or just because you're dumb enough to believe everything that came out of Nick's mouth. An extortioner who's been committing fraud with his disgusting wife who didn't even raise one of her kids. Only people like them would think that I would give a shit about a man. I've been on my own since I was 15. Stop following behind people, women, who haven't done a damn thing on their own. All you've had is pick-me-shas feeding your ego your entire life that do witchcraft on you. And yet you're basing your experience on knowing anything about me. You know nothing about me. Stop following behind disgusting women who are dragging you to hell. Nick Edelberg should be ashamed of himself right now. And his sisters should be stepping in because whatever the hell is happening with that man right now is a big problem. If it gets to the point of abusing William for money, keeping him from you and every single one of you, I don't give a shit what your opinion of me is as a person. You all know I'm a damn good mother. All of you are disgusting.